So my main work is on simulations with social agents, where the results emerge actually from all the complex interactions between the different agents. And that takes place in very many domains. We have done work on the smoking ban and why it works or doesn't work. Now we're working on fishery management, why policies will not work or will work. And also in healthcare, all kinds of decisions people make for their personal health and why they take decisions or not, and how that's influenced by their network, and people influence each other. So these kind of interactions make a big difference. Yeah, so at this conference we presented work on social practices and their influence on your decision making. So it's quite clear already that when you ask people to whether it's good or bad to eat meat, most people will say it's not so good to eat meat because it's not good for the environment and all that. But they still eat it because they like it. So the hypothesis actually is that people get into a social practice where the social practice is ingrained and they eat in some way, sometimes in company with people, with friends. Although you give them more information and the information is there, they don't use that information because they don't deliberate about what they're doing. So you do a kind of habitual practice, and that actually takes over from the deliberation. So that was step one. So you have social practices that you keep following. They emerge and then you keep following them. But then you have these two systems, the social practice and your deliberation. Now, how do we choose between a social practice and deliberation? So we tried in the work that we presented here to see what kind of elements from a context determine whether you follow a practice or step out and really deliberate what you're doing. Something that we actually tried out in the simulations is what happens if new restaurants open or restaurants close, or if they change their menus. So actually the most amazing result is that when restaurants that only had meat dishes on their menu and add a vegetarian dish in the simulation made it that more vegetarians started to eat meat. And the reason for that is that when that was not the case, vegetarians would all go together to a vegetarian restaurant and be very happy in their own group and don't mix with non-vegetarians. Now there is a way that you can mix in the same restaurant, and therefore you can take some of the habits from the other ones. And there you get a kind of going from one to the other side more easily. And because the vegetarian group was very small, actually that one started growing till you get like half-half. So that brought us actually to the insight that in the simulation this choice is very symmetric. So you eat meat or vegetarian. In real life, that's not at all symmetric. A meat eater easily eats vegetarian for 1 or 2 times, but the vegetarian will not do the other way around. So that's then the next step. How do you model that, and how does that influence in general our decision making? So that's more or less what we presented here.